All right, guys. So I'm here again with the MCX Virtus, and I actually had about. So I guess in total now I've had about 8 days with this rifle shooting it. And when I originally set out to do a video on this guy, I was just going to do a quick video and kind of run you through it. There wasn't a lot of information out on this thing. And, my goals really were just kind of show you the feature, do an overview, show you the features, some of the things that were changed from the previous generation of the MCX to this one. Each time I've come out shooting, I've actually gone a little bit further down the rabbit hole. And, 8 days later, 5 days shooting, I've actually taken this thing from just kind of looking at and doing a feature overview from what's different with this version of the rifle all the way to taking this thing out to 800 yards. So with that being said, I don't know if you've ever done any writing or anything like that. They always say you're supposed to do your introduction and your last, and that's kind of where we're at. So I'm on the 8th day today doing my introduction, and it's kind of a good thing too, because when I set up to do this video, it was just going to be like a quick one and made it kind of easy. So I've got so much information. I really want to make sure that I'm delivering a value to the video and kind of doing justice to this rifle. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to carve this thing up yet, but the reason I'm kind of going through this and saying it is that I just want to let you know that I've got 5 days of shooting now consistently with this thing. I've changed optics on it. I've looked at it in a number of different capacities, close quarters, all the way out to an 800-yard engagement with this thing, which is basically just punch and paper. But nonetheless, the accuracy was there and it was doing it. So really what I want to do is just kind of figure out how I can break all this video down. I got just a ton of video and put it in a package that's somewhat digestible and makes sense. So what I'm getting is, when you see this, take a look down in the description. Either I'm going to break this up into chapters, or maybe I'll create a playlist and just do a bunch of little mini videos with different things, all the way from the features and the overview to doing the trigger, doing trigger pulls, to showing the adjustability and the modularity, to showing the performance of the rifle. When I first got this thing, I wasn't totally happy with the result. And then over the period of 5 days, I was actually able to get this thing and push it out on paper out to 800 yards. So there's a lot of what went on between not being able to really group and being happy with it all the way out to 800 yards. So that being said, I've learned a lot over the last 5 days, and hopefully I can create a value and actually show you and pass some of that information on to you, since this is not a rifle that there's a whole lot out there, specifically when it comes to actual performance testing. There are a lot of videos out there that show all the features, the whiz-bang stuff like foldable stocks, all that kind of stuff. Let's put it in battery. I'm still unsafe though. But I guess what I'm getting at here, though, is that it's a super slick rifle. You just got to know how to actually run it and, have a real purpose for it. I think it could easily be, a go-to gun for sure. It's got that level of quality to it. So my thoughts on it are, it's a great rifle. I had no failures to feed. I had no mechanical issues, no failures to eject, no light primer strikes, nothing like that. Every single round that was chambered fired and ejected properly. So from a function perspective, this thing is amazing. It works great. Things I like right off the bat: fit and finish, ergonomics, reliability, overall feel, shootability, feels absolutely fantastic. It's a very well balanced rifle. It just feels good when you're shouldering it and firing it. Super low, it's got a low recoil impulse, which feels fantastic. And so that's kind of my high level overview. Oh, the overall other thing too I really like about it is just the aesthetic. It's slick looking. It's cool. It's a cool looking rifle. It's got the medium coyote tan. Mixed with the FDE. So again, kind of recapping off of my features, my overviews, I still stand by that comment that it looks like if you took a SCAR or an ACR and you kind of mated it with an AR-15, this is what you would get in a gas piston carbine. So now let's talk about the things that I kind of had some issues with right off the bat. So first things first, accuracy. The first day out, I was not totally impressed when I was actually sighting this scope in. I was having some issues with it grouping using standard ball ammunition. I was using M193, and I was not happy with it at all. So that's what kind of started this whole thing of me going down and doing all these different days of testing on this thing. So I went back and I did a couple of different things, right? I made sure that I torqued down these two little bolts right here that basically drive and kind of clamp the barrel into the upper receiver. I went through, and then the second thing too I did is I just kind of increased the weight of the ammunition I was using. So I went back up the next day. I shot a decent group with 193, used the same ammo again just to kind of verify some of the changes that I made were for the better. And then I moved up to some 855 and some 62, just 62 grain projectiles. Had much better luck with the grouping at that, at 100 yards. And so based off of that information, I took that and I went out and I pushed it out past 100. I did 200, 300, 500, 700, and 800 yard engagements with this rifle over the next couple days in different conditions. So I had a lot of luck with it. That's the other thing I really like about this. Once I figured this platform out and I was comfortable with the rifle itself, the accuracy came back. For some reason, this rifle feels more comfortable shooting out at longer distances than it does up close, at least as far as accuracy and precision is concerned. So with that being said, I really like this rifle. I think it's a great rifle. Sig's done a great job. It's an absolute dream to shoot. You know, my recommendation is just find ammo that works in it for you, and make sure that when you set it up for whatever role you want this rifle to fill for your own use, make sure that you're comfortable with it and you test it. And that goes the same for any rifle, you know. So hopefully you found this big long series valuable. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, I really feel like I'm pretty comfortable now talking about this rifle, having shot it for almost 5 straight days over a period of 8 days. And I'm more than willing to answer any questions that you have, whether it's about the Virtus specifically or about the MCX platform, how it shoots, anything like that. Feel free to leave the comments. As always, thanks for watching and stay safe. Let's get to shooting on this thing.